Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Detailed description. The detailed description is nothing but the expansion of the background and the summary. And the background and the summary, as we had explained, will tell the reader about the problem and the solution. So the problem and the solution, as we have covered in the background and the summary, will now be explained in greater detail. Now, it will include drawings. So the drawings, though they are in separate sheets and in a different place, the drawings will have a cross-reference and a description in writing of the figures, which will come in this part. That is the detailed description. Now, you can illustrate the problem with flow diagrams and flow charts. That's perfectly allowed. But that again will need, whatever you do by way of drawing should have some description in words. Now you can show the prior art. In some drawings you will see that they will describe the prior art and they will show the invention, and in some cases you can also illustrate the solution using drawings. You can illustrate the solution in a much clearer fashion. Now you can show the inventive departure in a detailed description. At what point did your invention go away from the normal trend? It can show the embodiments. It can list the embodiments, and that will satisfy other requirements of the Patents Act. Now, the essence of the detailed description is to describe the invention. So it has to refer to the broad inventive concept. It has to avoid limitations, because limitations is something which we would do in the claims, and we don't want anything that we refer to in the detailed description be read in a manner that restricts the scope of this claim. In the detailed description, whatever you refer to as an invention will indicate the scope of your coverage. So when you call something an invention in the description, understand that that will be regarded as what you have claimed. The description could be used to interpret the claims. As we said, it's an intrinsic tool or aid for construction of a patent. And it has to explain the invention at the outset. Just how we did it in the summary part, you have to explain the invention, then follow it up with the details later. Now, there is a requirement in the patent law that you have to possess the invention. While filing a patent application, the applicant has to make certain declarations in the application. Now, in the Indian Patents Act, we do it using the Form 1. One such declaration which the applicant has to make is that he has to say that he is in, or if it's a group of inventors, that we are in possession of the above mentioned invention. Now, it's easy to say that once you make this declaration in the form, it is assumed that you are in possession of the invention. Possession is to show that you have already worked the invention and you have done it. It's not something in the future that you need to do. The language that you use should demonstrate that you already have the invention. You have already invented it. In some applications, they would use a language in the future. They would use the future tense, that we plan to do this, we propose to do certain things. Now, all that would indicate that the invention is still not completed, or all the aspects of the invention is not done. Some testing remains to be done sometime in the future. So, which may not go well with this requirement that the inventor, when he signs off on Form 1, he makes a declaration that he possesses the invention. So this is the part of the specification where you can demonstrate that you have the invention with you. Now, what is the level of detail to which the detailed description should go to? Now, it has to focus on the invention and the embodiments or the different variants that the invention has. You can describe the ones closer to the invention first and then describe the ones that are further from the invention. Now, you can describe the variations and alterations in the invention. You can cover the broad range of equivalence. If you see that the claim or the main claim can have certain equivalence or certain alterations or variants, you can try to cover them. You can disclose them, or you can disclose things about your invention which could be put to strategic use. Now, you can make a disclosure as a strategy in your detailed description. Some entities do this. They describe quite a bit in their descriptive part, and their objective is to put all they have described into the public domain. So whatever you put into the descriptive part, say you have a very detailed working of a engine, but you may only claim one aspect in your claim. But the fact that you have described so many combinations or so many ways in which the engine works in great detail, you have disclosed what you know to the prior art. So the description could be used as a strategic tool for making a prior art disclosure. Now there are instances where entities have done this. So the level of detail to which you should describe will depend on what you are trying to achieve. The minimum is you are trying to achieve the requirements of enablement, the requirements of best method, and the requirements of utility. That's a minimum. Over and above, what you need to do is, if there is some strategy involved, you are patenting in a field which is highly competitive, or you are filing a patent where others could tomorrow, there is a fear that others could come and stop you based on a patent which they have filed. In that case, it would be advisable for you to disclose as much as you know in a specification, so that you capture the entire prior art and you are protected from somebody else's action against you